Have you ever noticed how every trip begins with a suitcase? And every great trip begins with knowing exactly what to put inside it. When it comes to cruising, your luggage isn't just a bag. It's your ticket to a smooth, stress-free vacation at sea. Unlike airports, cruise terminals don't have conveyor belts, check-in counters, or overhead bins fighting for space. But don't let that fool you. There are still luggage rules, limits, and hidden restrictions that every cruiser needs to know. Because one small packing mistake could delay your bag, trigger a security inspection, or even cost you a boarding delay on embarkation day. So today on Travel Vibes, we're diving deep into the 15 luggage rules and restrictions every cruiser must know for 2025 and beyond. We'll uncover the real-world tips that seasoned travelers swear by, and the small mistakes that first-timers always regret. Whether you're sailing for the very first time or returning to your favorite ship, this guide will help you pack smarter, move lighter, and step on board with total confidence. Because when you travel right from the start, the ocean always rewards you with a smoother ride. Rule 1. Cruise luggage limits are not as free as they look. Here's the truth. Cruise lines might seem more relaxed than airlines, but there's still a system. And if you ignore it, you'll feel it the moment you reach the terminal. Most cruise lines follow what's called the airline guideline. That means 2 checked bags per guest, each weighing up to 50 pounds, or 23 kilograms, plus 1 carry-on and 1 personal item. There's no official weigh-in counter like at the airport. But think about this. Porters and ship crew members lift hundreds of bags every hour. If your suitcase is heavy enough to make someone grunt, it's too heavy for check-in. And here's something many first-timers miss. The length of your cruise matters. On short trips, just 3 to 5 days, 1 medium suitcase and a small carry-on are perfect. For a week-long sailing, go with 1 large suitcase and a carry-on. But even if you're on a 2-week voyage, don't assume more days mean more bags. Your cabin space doesn't grow with your itinerary. So if you overpack, you'll spend your vacation climbing over your own luggage. Pack light, stay mobile, and remember, the less you bring, the freer you'll feel once you step on board. Rule 2. Tag like a pro before you hand it off. The moment you arrive at the cruise terminal, there's a small but crucial ritual every traveler faces: handing your bags to the porters. This is where many packing nightmares begin. Before you even leave home, make sure your cruise luggage tags are printed, filled out with your cabin number, and securely attached. A loose paper tag can vanish in the wind, and once that happens, your bag could take a detour to someone else's stateroom. The best travelers use reusable waterproof tag holders. They're inexpensive, durable, and keep your tag readable no matter the weather. When you meet your porter, smile, hand over your luggage, and yes, it's customary to tip about $2 to $5 per bag. That small gesture goes a long way. These folks lift, stack, and move thousands of pieces of luggage every single morning, ensuring yours arrives safely at your door later that day. And here's a pro tip. Before you walk away, snap a quick photo of your luggage. It takes 5 seconds, but if your bag gets delayed, you'll have something better than a vague, "It's the blue one" description. Cruising may feel effortless once you're on board, but every smooth sailing begins with a few smart moves on land. And labeling your luggage like a pro is one of them. Rule 3. Your luggage gets screened just like at the airport. Once your bag disappears from sight at the port, it doesn't go straight to your cabin. It goes through a security screening process that's more thorough than most people realize. Behind the scenes, every piece of luggage is X-rayed, scanned, and checked by ship security before it's approved for delivery. They're not just looking for weapons or liquids. They're searching for prohibited items that might pose fire risks, electrical hazards, or safety concerns for other passengers. If something looks suspicious, a shape that resembles a bottle, an appliance, or an unknown device, your bag might get pulled aside for manual inspection. And here's the thing. Once that happens, your luggage won't show up at your cabin until hours later. Sometimes, not until dinner. So, if you want your bags to arrive on time, don't take risks with what you pack. Leave out the questionable items and stick to cruise-approved essentials. It'll save you from that sinking feeling when your bag doesn't appear while everyone else is already unpacking. Rule 4. Your carry-on is your lifeline on embarkation day. The moment you step on board, your cabin might not be ready, but your adventure has already begun. Think of your carry-on as your cruise survival kit. It's not just another bag, it's your first few hours of comfort and peace of mind. Inside it, keep everything you can't afford to lose or wait for. Your passport, Government ID, boarding documents, and medications should always stay close. Add your phone, chargers, wallet, camera, and any valuables. And don't forget a swimsuit, sunscreen, and sunglasses, because that pool deck will be calling your name before your luggage even reaches the ship. If you're the kind of traveler who likes to freshen up before dinner, pack a small toiletry pouch and a change of clothes too. That way, even if your checked bag arrives late, you won't skip a beat. It's like carrying your peace of mind in one bag. Everything you need to relax, explore, and enjoy your first day at sea without a single worry. Rule 5. Know when you can actually drop off your bags. Here's something that confuses even frequent cruisers. Not every cruise line lets you head straight to your cabin once you board. If you're sailing with Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, or Virgin Voyages, you're in luck. Your cabin usually opens around noon, and you can often stop by early to drop off your carry-on. But if you're cruising with Royal Caribbean, Carnival, or Norwegian, cabins typically open between 1 and 3 p.m. During that time, you'll need to keep your bags with you as you explore the ship, grab lunch, or relax in the atrium. Now, there's one exception. If you've booked a suite or purchased early access programs like The Key or Faster to the Fun, you'll get priority boarding and cabin access before the rest of the crowd. So plan accordingly. Don't overload your carry-on, and make sure you can move around comfortably for a couple of hours. Because there's nothing worse than trying to balance a mountain of bags while everyone else is already sipping a welcome cocktail by the pool. The smartest cruisers know timing is everything, even before the ship sails. Rule 6. Know what not to pack. The banned items that ruin vacations. Here's the part no one likes to talk about. The forbidden list. Every year, hundreds of bags get flagged and delayed because travelers unknowingly pack items that cruise lines strictly prohibit. Sometimes it's an honest mistake. Other times it's pure, I didn't think they'd notice. But believe me, they do. Here's what you absolutely cannot bring. Irons, steamers, kettles, or coffee makers. Anything that heats up or has an open flame is a fire hazard at sea. Candles, incense, or lighters. Leave them home. Sharp tools, weapons, or even utility knives, confiscated. CBD and marijuana products, not allowed on ships, even if they're legal where you live. And here's a sneaky one: surge-protected power strips. Cruise ships run on complex electrical systems, and surge protectors can interfere with them. Instead, bring a cruise-approved power cube without surge protection. Drones are another gray area. Some cruise lines allow them only for use in port. Others ban them completely. And Bluetooth speakers? Increasingly off-limits, especially on Royal Caribbean and Carnival ships or their private islands. Finally, and this one's serious, don't try to sneak alcohol aboard. Some travelers think they can outsmart the scanners with disguised bottles, but a few have actually been banned for life after getting caught. It's just not worth the risk. You don't want your vacation to end before it begins. So before you zip up that bag, double-check your cruise line's list. One smart decision now can save you hours of frustration later. Rule 7. No iron? No problem. Wrinkle-free hacks that actually work. Let's be honest, nobody wants to show up to dinner looking like their outfit came straight out of the suitcase. But since irons and steamers are banned, how do you keep your clothes looking crisp? Here's how experienced cruisers do it. Many ships offer laundry services where you can send clothes for pressing or washing. Some even have a fill-a-bag laundry special. Stuff as many clothes as you can into one bag for a flat fee, usually around $35 or $40. But if you want to handle it yourself, here's a simple trick that works wonders. Hang your clothes in the bathroom, close the door, and let the shower steam work its magic while you get ready. Then spray them with wrinkle release spray and give a gentle tug. Within minutes, your clothes will look fresh again. No iron required. It's these little onboard tricks that separate seasoned travelers from first-timers. A few sprays, a little steam, and you'll be dinner ready in no time, without ever breaking a rule. Rule 8. Alcohol rules. Know before you pour. The question every cruiser wonders: can I bring my own drinks on board? The short answer is sometimes, but the long answer depends on your cruise line. Most major lines allow you to bring one bottle of wine or champagne per adult on embarkation day. No hard liquor, no beer, and definitely no boxed wine. And if you plan to enjoy your bottle in the dining room, expect a corkage fee ranging from $15 to as high as $40. depending on the ship. There are exceptions, of course. MSC Cruises, for example, doesn't allow any outside alcohol at all. So always double-check the fine print before packing that bottle you've been saving for sunset on the balcony. Trying to sneak alcohol on board is not just against policy, it can get you permanently flagged in the cruise line system. But here's the good news. Most ships have drink packages that make enjoying your vacation easier, and often cheaper, than trying to bring your own. Because nothing tastes better at sea than peace of mind and a glass of something you didn't have to hide. Rule 9. Snacks are fine, but sandwiches are not. It's one of the most common questions cruisers ask before boarding. Can I bring my own food? The answer is yes, but with a few important limits. You can absolutely bring sealed packaged snacks like granola bars, nuts, chips, or cookies. These are perfect for when you're exploring ports or want a quick bite between meals. However, no homemade food, fresh fruit, or meats are allowed. Anything perishable can attract pests or violate agricultural laws when you dock in another country. For families traveling with infants, baby food and formula are usually allowed. But make sure it's factory sealed and check your cruise line's website for specific details. Here's a tip. Keep your snacks in a zippered pouch or small tote instead of bulky containers. Not only does it save space, but it also makes going through security faster and easier. Remember, the ship's buffet is open the moment you board. So bring light snacks for convenience, not a full picnic. The last thing you want is your homemade sandwich being pulled out by security for inspection. Rule 10. Never pack these items in checked luggage. Here's a rule every experienced cruiser lives by. If you can't afford to lose it, don't check it. Cruise terminals process thousands of bags within a few hours. While most reach your cabin safely, inspections or delays can happen. And that's when problems start if you've packed the wrong things in the wrong bag. Here's what should never go in your checked luggage: your passport, government ID, or boarding documents. You'll need them at check-in and during embarkation. Your prescription medications. If your luggage is delayed, missing doses can turn your vacation into a medical emergency. Jewelry, money, and valuables, keep them close. Electronics like laptops, cameras, and tablets, fragile and expensive, they belong in your carry-on. Think of it this way. If your suitcase goes missing for a few hours, what would ruin your day? Those are the items to keep by your side. Your carry-on isn't just for convenience. It's your safety net against the unexpected. Rule 11. The Disembarkation Dilemma. It's the last night of your cruise. You've made new friends, enjoyed the sunsets, and suddenly, reality sets in. It's time to think about getting off the ship. This is where many first-time cruisers stumble. On the final evening, you'll have two choices. Option 1, leave your luggage outside your cabin before midnight. The crew will collect it overnight, and it'll be waiting for you in the cruise terminal after you disembark. Option 2, carry your own bags off the ship through a process called self-assist disembarkation. Each has its pros and cons. If you've got an early flight or prefer to leave first thing in the morning, self-assist can save time. You'll walk off as soon as customs opens. But be warned, elevators are packed, stairways are crowded, and if your suitcase is heavy, it's going to be a struggle. If you prefer a relaxed exit, let the crew handle it. Just make sure you pack everything you'll need for the night: pajamas, toiletries, and your travel documents in a small overnight bag. Cruising is about enjoyment, not endurance. So choose the option that fits your comfort level, not your pride. The last morning of your cruise should be calm, not chaotic. Rule 12. Disembarkation tags aren't the same as boarding tags. A few days before your cruise ends, your cabin attendant will quietly slip a set of color-coded luggage tags under your door. Don't ignore them. These little tags decide when you leave the ship. Each color represents a specific disembarkation time. Maybe you're in the early blue group or the later orange one. The times are designed to keep thousands of passengers moving smoothly through customs and the terminal. But here's a trick that seasoned travelers use. If the assigned time doesn't fit your schedule, say your flight is early or you want to stay on board longer, just visit guest services. They'll happily switch your tag for a more convenient time. It's such a simple detail, but it can make your final morning completely stress-free. Instead of rushing through breakfast or waiting endlessly in the atrium, you'll glide off the ship at the perfect time. Calm, prepared, and ready for your next adventure. Because the end of your cruise deserves to feel just as smooth as the beginning. Rule 13. Don't forget your leaving the ship bag. The night before disembarkation, most travelers focus on packing everything up. But here's what many forget. You still need a small bag for the final morning. This leaving the ship bag should include your toiletries, medications, and valuable items, your travel documents, and, very importantly, a fresh outfit and underwear for disembarkation day. It sounds funny, but it happens all the time. People pack every last item, set their suitcases outside their door, and then realize the next morning they have nothing left to wear except last night's dinner clothes. Oh, and one more thing. Keep a set of pajamas aside too. Once your bags are collected, you can't get them back until you're off the ship. A simple tip, but one that saves you from an awkward walk through the terminal the next morning. Cruising isn't just about luxury. It's about learning the little routines that make the journey effortless. Rule 14. Can you carry your own luggage onto the ship? Yes, but only if you can handle it yourself. If you're traveling light and your luggage fits through the security X-ray machine, you can bring it on board without handing it to the porters. This works great for short cruises or travelers who prefer to have their bags with them from the start. But remember, once you board, you'll need to carry your bags through security, down long corridors, and maybe up several decks. And since your cabin might not be ready yet, you'll be holding onto those bags for a while. If your suitcase is bulky or heavy, do yourself a favor. Let the porters take care of it. They're experts at navigating the chaos of embarkation day. Still worried about your luggage getting lost? Here's a smart 2025 tip. Use an AirTag or Bluetooth tracker inside your bag. If it gets delayed or delivered to the wrong stateroom, you'll know instantly where it is. Carrying your own luggage can be convenient, but it's not a competition. The real win is stepping aboard relaxed, hands-free, and ready to explore. Rule 15. How to make sure your luggage actually arrives on time. Here's a secret most cruise rookies never hear. Luggage delays aren't random. They're preventable. If you've ever stood in your cabin wondering why everyone else's bags arrived hours ago, here's what probably happened. First, you might have checked in late. The earlier your luggage is handed to porters, the sooner it's processed and delivered. Second, maybe you left old cruise tags attached to your bag from a previous trip. Scanners get confused, and your luggage can easily end up on the wrong cart. Third, some travelers pack items that trigger security scans, causing their bags to be pulled aside for inspection. So what's the solution? Arrive early, use fresh printed tags, and pack smart. Nothing suspicious, no bottles, no electrical gadgets that look odd on X-ray. And always keep essentials in your carry-on, just in case your checked bag takes a scenic detour through the luggage hold before finding you. It's simple. The smoother you make it for the crew, the faster your luggage finds its way home. Your cabin. Bonus insight. The unwritten luggage wisdom of seasoned cruisers. Ask anyone who's been on more than a few cruises, and they'll tell you, packing isn't just about what fits in your suitcase. It's about making the experience effortless. The best cruisers know to bring collapsible bags for souvenirs, laundry pouches for used clothes, and Ziploc bags for keeping electronics dry on shore excursions. They travel with small scales to weigh bags before flying home, and use bright ribbons or tags to spot their luggage quickly among thousands of others. And most importantly, they pack not for just in case, but for what really matters. Every cruise is a lesson in letting go, not just of stress, but of clutter, overpacking, and unnecessary weight. Because once you feel that sea breeze and watch the shoreline fade away, you'll realize less baggage always means more freedom. Recap your cruise luggage made simple. Let's take a quick breath and rewind. 15 rules, 15 lessons learned from thousands of travelers before you. Pack light. Label clearly. Keep your essentials close. Know the banned items. Tip your porter, trust the process, and time your embarkation right. Have a small bag ready for disembarkation and double-check those tags before you leave. Every detail, from how you zip your bag to when you hand it off, shapes how smooth your vacation begins. Because cruising isn't just about where you're going. It's about how easily you arrive there, closing the calm before the waves. At the end of the day, luggage is just the beginning of your story. It's the first thing you carry aboard, and the last thing you roll away when the trip is over. Handle it right, and it'll never be a burden. Handle it wrong, and it can shadow even the best vacation. So before your next sailing, take 5 quiet minutes to review these simple steps. Make your luggage your ally, not your stress. Because when everything's in order, there's a moment. Standing at the ship's rail, ocean stretching endlessly ahead, where you finally exhale and think, I made it. And that's the real start of your cruise. Now tell us in the comments, when's your next voyage, and what's the one thing you'll pack differently after hearing these tips? If this helped you feel more cruise ready, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who's sailing soon. Because the sea is calling, and when it does, you'll want to be ready, luggage, spirit, and all.